Hey guys, good morning. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. It's closing in on us. It's Sunday morning here, and while I'm making this video, and we got a kind of an exciting day ahead of us today. My daughter has some more basketball games. I hit the gym already. I was able to eat an awesome breakfast with the family and just kind of relax. We slept in a little bit. We went and visited our neighbors last night, and man, we had a good time. We stood up a little later than I expected, but it was an awesome time. My neighbor has a sweet house, and he has all these pinball machines, and he restores pinball machines and stuff. So we were like, he literally has an arcade in his house, and so there's a bunch of 40 plus year olds down there playing arcade games and pinball and just having a good time last night. So anyway, one of the things I was able to do this morning is just do some reading. I love reading Sunday mornings. I love reading all the time, as much as often as I can, but especially Sunday mornings. There's something about a Sunday morning just being peaceful out and hearing the birds. It's springtime here in Colorado. It's thankfully the weather's nice today. It's been really rainy and it's just springtime in Colorado, right? You get 80-degree weather down to 40-degree weather all within a 12-hour span. And if you're not from Colorado, that's a that's a very common thing here. But today it's beautiful. But anyway, so I want to make a video today about um, time and material versus flat rate pricing. So I recently read an article here, and I'm going to pull it up real fast. Let's see here. I recently read this article right here I came across about time and material being illegal in California for contractors now. And I'll read this to you real quick here. But let's see. So I read this a while back, actually. Honestly, I read this a while back, and it prompted me to start looking at things a little bit differently and start preparing for the future. Because as you guys know, California, New York, right? Seems like states follow suit after them. They're not too far behind them, especially in Colorado, right? So politically and things on that spectrum, Colorado is starting to feel like California, right? So let's see here. Let me read this to you real quick. Okay, right here, and I have my iPad here. So it says Tnm contracts are legal for construction projects except in California. A contractor and residential homeowner or tenant cannot enter into a Tnm contract in California. California law requires construction contracts over $500 with homeowners or tenants to include the contract price, contract start and end dates, description of work, amount of deposit, required warnings, and disclosure of insurance information. In addition, the construction contract price must be a fixed fee, stated in dollars and cents. So in parentheses, California Business and Professions Code Section 7159 D5.2. And it must also have a schedule of progress payments, and each progress payment shall be stated in dollars and cents and specifically reference the amount of work or services to be performed and any materials or equipment to be supplied. Because Tnm contracts do not specify the contract amount or how much the payments will be, they are declared illegal, with fines and penalties up to $5,000 for contractors who use them. In addition, the homeowner or tenant may void the non-compliant contract, leaving the contractor to accept payment that is the reasonable value of work. This is crazy, right? So this is crazy. I'm literally reading this off the internet here. So guys, that's wild. As a contractor in California, no wonder everybody's leaving that state, and we're seeing this mass migration of especially business, right? When it comes to stuff like that. So that brings me to my point here is if you've been following my videos and listening, I'm primarily a commercial contractor. We do like 80% commercial, 20% service. I don't do any residential new construction. I do very little like residential remodels or new constructions, anything like that. So we've always been primarily a commercial contractor. But a couple years ago, what happened was I found myself getting in cash crunches, being heavy in the commercial game, right? Because we don't get paid right away. So we're 30, 60, 90 net. Sometimes we don't get paid. That's the fact of the matter. Is I've lost tens of thousands of dollars over the years to the commercial field. I've made a lot of money there, but it's also a pain in the butt sometimes, especially when you're heavy in commercial and you're a small guy like me. 10 to 20 guys, 10 to 15 guys at any given time. It's not you don't get paid. You don't have that cash flow. And what you're going to learn as a small business owner, or if you're already in business for yourself, is cash is king, right? So cash flow is extremely important to keep the doors open, keep the bills paid, pay the employees, pay the insurance, pay the gas, pay the supply houses, pay everybody, right? So you literally start to become the bank in a lot of these cases when you're a commercial contractor, and you start to what happened with me was a couple times a year I would find myself in a cash crunch where I had no money. We had $200,000 floating out there in payments due to us, but because of the nature of the contracts, or just where we were in the project or whatever it was, I wasn't getting paid, right? So we decided, hey, we need to start a service department. I want to focus heavily on some niche things in the residential market, and that's what we did, and that's what we're currently doing. So that has now evolved into um, what I would love people's opinions, especially if you're a contractor or not. I still want your opinion on this as an electrician, because I find I'm struggling with this topic right here. So you saw what I just read to you, right, about the TNM being illegal in California. And I don't even know if a lot of contractors realize that in California. But if you are from California, I'd love to hear your feedback and in your experience with this. That would be amazing. But so with that, I guess what we're looking at now, and I feel like the future, if California is starting this, and this holds true over there, and it starts to spread through the country, what are our options as a contractor, right? So we have, up until recent, or even still now, we charge time and material here in Colorado. And if you're a contractor and you guys know, T&M, it's okay, right? It has its good and its bad, but some of the bad about T&M, right, is customer complaints, right? Let's say you send your techs out to the job and they're there, and this is the type of customer who's like watching everything, and your guys forget they're short one coupling, or they're short a breaker, or something comes up that was unforeseen where they were not exactly prepared, or had the van stocked with this material, or they forgot to pick it up, or the suppliers forgot to put it in the box, or whatever it is. Stuff happens, right? So then your guy has to run to the supply house, and the customer's peeking out the window, like looking at their clock, like, huh, am I paying for this? And so all these problems start to arise where you have to battle it out with the homeowner to get paid, because they're upset about the way that the process went, right? And so that's obviously a problem. TNM in theory should cover you. You should be making money, and I think we do for the most part, but there are times where we don't, and I don't exactly get it. That doesn't make sense. I haven't quite figured that out, but I think a lot of it is if we have a customer complaint, like the last thing we want is a negative review, right? So our goal is to get 5-star reviews. Like every service call, that's what we're prepping our guys to do now, and starting to train our guys to look at these jobs as your main objective here, besides a safe installation, a quality installation, is getting a 5-star review. And if you do all the things right, then you should get that review. Um, so yeah, so I guess now what we're looking at is going into flat rate pricing, and this is what I want people's opinion on. I'm looking at this as an electrician's point of view. It's how do we create, we deal with thousands of pieces and parts, right? We have all these different installs you could do. It's not like HVAC or plumbing where it's somewhat straightforward. You guys don't, like HVAC and plumbers don't have all this massive list of materials and things. They swap out a hot water heater, or they're installing a new furnace, or a new condensing unit, or whatever. It's pretty easy to price that stuff and gauge how long it takes, and your cost and this and that. So the flat rate pricing works great there. But for electricians, it's a little different. So it's there's a lot more stuff we could go into a homeowner's home and provide, I would say. So The thing I'm struggling with is with creating this price book. Number one, like how much should we be charging for every little item, and like getting to the point of being able to train your guys to be able to, in a sense, sell this to the customer when they're on site. So a couple things I'm looking at right now that kind of changed my mind on all this, the flat rate pricing, which really what I think ultimately we're going to be charging more than what a customer would be paying in the T&M situation. But the benefit is the customer is going to know exactly what they're paying up front. So they're not going to question what the price is, right? And so that's kind of how we're structuring this thing. And so I just finished this book actually. It's $100 million offers by Alex Harmozy. If you guys are into YouTube and entrepreneurship and all that stuff, then you probably know who Alex Harmozy is. But this book was pretty cool, and it kind of changed my outlook on things, right? So when I first started business, and I was young, I was 28 years old, and I remember charging like whatever I needed for that week to pay my bills. That's like almost how I went about things sometimes. I was afraid to charge more than I thought I was worth, right? Because in the beginning, 28 years old, a new electrician, I didn't see all the value in myself. I didn't know as much as I know now. I wasn't as good as I am now. I couldn't provide the same value that I could provide to customers now. So as time goes on, and you start to grow and you bring employees on and all the bills and all the taxes at the end of the year, you start to learn that you need to be charging more and you need to be competitive, but you shouldn't be racing to the bottom. And I think a lot of new guys get caught up on that, where they get scared, right? And it's like they just need a job because they need to pay their bills for the month. So they're going to go out and hustle up whatever they can to make that happen. So some days customers get really lucky. Some days you don't need the work, so you are going to charge a little bit more. But for us, what we're going into this year and what we're creating this year is a flat rate pricing system where the customer knows exactly what they're going to pay before we do the install. And so this book, one thing that stuck out to me in this $100 million offers was how to package these deals, how to be able to package an amazing deal or give customers options to be able to make a decision, right? So it doesn't feel like we're trying to sell them or sell something to them or give them one option of it's $5,000 and that's it. So we're learning how to package deals and how to provide value for that customer. So check this out. One of the things that we're going to start doing and start toying with is creating a membership program for our customers. So the membership program is a super simple thing that we're still working through, but it's going to be somewhere in the range of like $9.99 a month to $14.99 a month. We haven't exactly dialed that in yet, but with this membership, it offers a bunch of value to the customer. So one of those things is discounts on this flat rate price that we may provide them while we're on site there. So that's one of them. The other thing is we're looking at scheduling that customer 3 times a year to go do our home evaluation checks. And as an electrician, this is where it's kind of tough because it's like, what in your house can an electrician go in and maintenance regularly to make sure that the system's working properly? Well, so far, we're looking at the panels, right? So we're looking at literally taking a heat gun, our screwdriver, our camera, our flashlight, and we're opening up that panel and we're checking every single breaker in that panel, making sure they're not double tapped, making sure the wire size is correct according to the breaker size. We're going to turn stuff on in the house. We're going to try to run as much stuff as we can. We're going to amp clamp that panel so we could show the customer this is how much power you're drawing on a worst case scenario on a hot day. Hot day with all your family over, running the hot tub, things like that. We're showing them the amp clamp. We're taking a heat gun. We're checking all the breakers and making sure nothing's heating up. If we find anything, we are opening that panel. We're tearing it down. We're looking for missing grommets, missing RC50s, whatever kind of connector, stuff like that. The other thing is smoke detectors. We're going to be checking smoke detectors. We're going to be looking at the dates of manufacture on them. We're going to probably, I don't know if I'm doing this yet, but they make these little cans of fake smoke that you could blow up in the smoke detector and make sure that they're all interconnected and that they're alerting the homeowner if they're in case of an emergency. So panel smoke detectors and then GFCIs. We're going to go around the property. Every single GFCI we could find, we're plug checking it. We're manually tripping it, making sure that the outlets downstream are protected, making sure the GFI protection is installed where it's supposed to be. And that's kind of the basics of like our evaluation. We're looking for safety, functionality, and then aesthetics last. Hey, these lights would look great here. You need a new ceiling fan. I noticed this cover was busted up or something like that. So just a whole plethora of things, that we're going to offer these customers to give them peace of mind that their electrical system is safe. And I think people will find value in this, especially like new homeowners. Somebody who's never owned a house before, who knows nothing about electrical and this and that. If you could get an electrician to your house to like show you all these things and go through the whole electrical system. We have a book that we're making right now with visuals that show wiring inside the house and all that stuff. So it's super cool. So we're trying to provide value, right, to get customers to join our membership program, because ultimately it's giving them peace of mind. It's doing an amazing thing for us. For when it's slow for us, we can now schedule schedule our techs to go into the customer's house to do these evaluations. If we don't have anything going on, we could keep the guys busy, right? So a few different things there that we're working towards. And it's not easy putting this flat rate pricing together and understanding how much you should charge and how much you can charge. But ultimately, one thing this book showed me was you don't want to be cheap. You don't want to be cheap, but you want to be able to provide the value as well. So your value increases, your price increases. And as electricians, the baby boomers are retiring, and a lot of those guys are electrical contractors. There's less and less electricians coming to the market, getting licensed, starting a business. So as time goes on, just like anything in the trades, we're becoming more valuable. So we need to not be having a mentality of racing to the bottom. We need to have a mentality of providing more value for the customer. That way we could charge more. So as a brand new business owner, this is a hard concept. It's hard. It's scary. You're trying to build your base, trying to build your customer base up and stuff like that. So you're trying to give everybody a good deal. You don't exactly see the value in yourself yet. So this is something that I would highly suggest is getting your hands on books like this. Another book that's really good is the E-Myth. The E-Myth really helped me out a lot. What else? Rocket Fuel was amazing. Rocket Fuel, E-Myth, $100 million offers. I would put those 3 books in your reading list today and get familiar with them and understand the concepts in those books. Because one last thing, as a business owner, what I would highly suggest when you're first starting out, to get the mentality that you're going to sell this business one day. And in order to sell a business, it needs to be scalable. And in order to be scalable, you have to have systems and processes in place that are efficient and effective. And then you could plug and play, right? You could put anybody into your training program. You could put techs in the vans. You could train people the same way, do everything the same way every time. And will these things evolve and change over time? Yes, they will. And so will you. But in the meantime, don't race to the bottom, guys. Let's race to the top of providing more value, because we're electricians. You've spent your entire career learning this stuff and becoming better at it. Hey, we're valuable guys, and so we need to start acting like it and provide more value for the customer. So quick tip today, $100 million offers. California's, you can't even live there anymore. Colorado's probably not far behind. So we're getting ahead of the game, and hopefully 2024 we can crush it. So yeah, anyway, have a great Sunday. You guys enjoy your weekend, enjoy the week ahead.